The biggest Hollywood blockbusters cast men as the main character for a reason. From Batman to John Connor to Tony Stark, this pattern exists because audiences prefer a strong male lead over a female one. Or do they? Hollywood doesn't actually want you to know the truth about this because they want you to think that men hate women in their movies because of the patriarchy. They want you to believe that the prejudice is systemic, and yeah, the prejudice exists, but having a strong female lead is often just the excuse that's given for why releases like Captain Marvel, The Force Awakens, and She-Hulk tank so badly at the box office and on streaming services. Studios and showrunners have gotten comfortable with the idea of pointing the finger at you, saying that you hate women because you refuse to consume their trash that they tried to feed you. But the reality is, contrary to the Hollywood propaganda, both men and women love a strong female lead, and they kind of always have. In fact, oftentimes audiences prefer it as long as that female lead is supported by solid writing and a story and events that make sense. For example, Ellen Ripley. She is the original strong female lead. She's not a princess, she has no powers, she's not the chosen one. She's super relatable as a character for these reasons. In fact, Ripley only becomes the main character of the show because everybody else dies. And this works really well because Ripley's success as a character isn't dependent on her being a woman in the first place. But her presence still feels 100% genuinely feminine, which is interesting because her role wasn't specifically written for a woman. Do you understand this? Like, her role could have been just as easily played by a man. But Sigourney Weaver pulls it off better because she is a woman. And if we remade that movie today with all of our special effects, with a man as the main character, people would flip their shit because the story and the movie just wouldn't be as badass without a female lead. The female casting within this role is what made this movie go from good to great to iconic. But this isn't the only one. There's also Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs. Her being a woman in the role and context of this film puts her in greater danger than if she was a man in the same role. But her gender also provides this weird sort of sense of protection against the villain of this film because of the nature of Hannibal Lecter. And that's what makes this film so tense and effective with a strong female lead, because her position is much more dangerous because of her gender. And as a result, her actions and character arc carry so much more weight. It just hits different because she is a woman in this position. But she isn't better than everyone else in the film just because she's a woman. Watch that movie again or for the first time and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. Because that's the power of good writing and storytelling. And part of our problem today is that Hollywood has gotten this idea in their head that what makes a strong female lead is writing a female character that's absolutely flawless and perfect and all-powerful and all-knowing. They write women with no flaws or weaknesses. But the problem is that's boring to everybody, prejudice or no, and that's why nobody likes characters like Captain Marvel. Viewers aren't filled with prejudice. It's just boring when a character is so powerful, so perfect, and so morally incorruptible that it eliminates any possibility for any character arc or moral dilemma that this female lead might face in the story. Just think about it, because one of the most slept on strong female leads in all of cinema and TV history is Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones. She's stripped of her kingdom, she's married off to a Dothraki Khal, she never finds herself in a position of true defensible power the entire series, and she's always struggling to make the right decision, and most of the time she makes the wrong decisions which create more problems for her. She's a flawed character, but she continues to build power and influence in this story. And all of this gave us one of the most amazing female character arcs in TV or cinema history. That is, until the showrunners got ahead of the Game of Thrones source material and butchered her character along with every other character and character arc in the entire series post season 6. And all of this is just to say, the world isn't nearly as prejudiced as we've all been led to believe that it is. But in reality, they're using women inserted into poorly written roles to create a shield against any kind of criticism pointed toward any product that they put out, all because they feel entitled to your time and money that they believe should be handed over to them without question. And I kind of think that that entire mode of operation for the Hollywood machine feels just a little bit sexist. Just think about it.